Welcome back.
We're back.
We are back for another episode of Outside the Wire. This is going to be episode 6. We hope that you have watched all of our episodes up until this point. If not, we definitely recommend you go back and catch up on those. So,
Maybe we should say it like Jason Hayes says it. We're so back.
we're so back. Okay. We're so back. We're so back. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look for all the like the whole cast saying we're so back clips and everything because they did embrace that part of it.
They
But
did.
We're back. We're back. Yeah. That's right there. Good boy. Good boy.
we are back for episode 6. Episode 6 is titled The Spinning Wheel. The SEAL team must work with Jason's longtime rival, Beau Fuller, and his team to plan and perfect a raid under the watchful eye of top military brass, also known as cake eaters. Also, Clay delivers some solemn news to a teammate's next of kin. So this is like, I feel like this is a very interesting episode. A little bit. There's
Not one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, the Clay storyline I think is a little bit of a
Long.
It's a long storyline, and then it's interesting though on the flip side of it, like I don't want to spoil it about this whole whatever the next op is coming up, but this whole like rival thing for Jason and what they're doing to prove to the top brass of the military that they can do it is interesting too, especially by the end of the episode. And you're like, what?
I like the themes of brotherhood for both the Jason and the Clay storyline and what family in the brotherhood means. But that's all I really got for this one.
Right. Yes. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to count down to 1 and everybody hit play. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Previously on SEAL Team.
It's such a gory photo of Nate, really.
I know. Why can't they show us like a nice picture of it?
the woman he's following.
Oh man. Brian, I already miss you.
Especially that last happy smile shot, and then you see the parachute. Nothing.
I'm kind of curious how they filmed that whole falling scene.
You think it was CGI?
I don't know.
Saudi Arabia.
Those goats, they look pretty suspicious if you ask me.
You think they had to have a goat herder on set, like to keep the goats
How do we
alive?
Get that job?
Yes, I'd like to be a SEAL team goat herder.
Are you looking for any extras? We'd be the most distracted goat herders ever.
Looks like he's trying to distract that guy in the car.
Ooh, that was
sneaky. So smart. He looks cranky.
Again, I just love how where we started in Saudi Arabia and now we're gonna like be back home.
Clay. Listening about Brian's service. Frogman to family.
Really interesting Bravo's take on the whole thing and observing Clay.
Well, and it's interesting too, where Sonny's saying he did 2 tours in Trashcanistan and then he dies during training. It's like kind of foreshadowing a little.
Jason is judging him.
Well, Jason's got his own demons with that. lose a
That's
guy
an
and kind of
understatement. Jason with demons.
yeah.
But you can see he has the sympathy because
Yes.
it's not easy. I think it's worse losing a brother to something not combat related.
True. It's training exercise gone wrong.
I will say the one interesting part about the storyline is what we find out about Brian. Brian specified clay.
Which is surprising for all of us until we find out why.
We
Briefing
love when
room.
Blackbird says, "Listen up." I
Got a
like
little
how
man.
the little Jandy moment there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
You know, when cake eaters are in the room, this is just, it's not going to be good.
No.
What do you think I'd get a mortgage for in a place like that right now? Ballpark.
Sonny.
He doesn't look amused.
Mandy's presence there is just.
Standing right up by the front as usual. In a nice outfit.
They found a Buasan.
That guy's been in something else like 24 or Burn Notice or something.
Probably. It's Mandy's show now.
She's so good at it.
She really is.
So confident.
I love listening to the guys, like, the knowledge and, like, hold on.
Yeah.
And they do it in a funny way.
Yeah. No condescension. Cannot assume.
You know what they say about assuming. Just the way they took the camera, especially the early seasons, around the briefing room and the looks. It's just like, it's not even action packed, but you're leaning into it all.
Well, I like how when they do the over the shoulder, it feels like the audience is there with them.
But like even I said, like all these little Jandy looks we're getting, like the way Jessica Perret and David Boreanaz play off of it is just they're not even speaking, but the whole scene is right there.
Yeah, there's a conversation, an unspoken one. Who are they bringing in?
Who's this guy?
Charlie, team leader.
Why did he say ladies like that?
Yeah. There should be more ladies in there.
Jason's not happy. Mandy's just like watching this whole tennis match.
She hides her surprise.
2 team leaders, and the egos are big here in this room. Okay, can we talk about defining op of our lives? How many more times are we going to hear this in the next 7 seasons?
And Jason's had plenty of those already.
Right.
Look at that look.
Whew.
Great beginning. General Tisdale.
They all look lovely.
Well, I have another woman in there.
It's like, oh, you got the 2 teams just like facing off.
I'm assuming there would be no in real life rivalries between the teams, but they still work together.
Oh yeah, I definitely think there's like sports teams, you know, they have fun together, but they also have like their little fun games they do.
Look at this model. I'm telling you.
Again, we need to get the model job.
You're so good at it.
I wonder how long a model builder has, because like it would mean this is like in the pipes for a while, right? This op.
True. They don't like his idea.
It's very interesting how Jason approaches it versus
Beau.
him.
And she knows how long the response will be.
Jason is silent this whole time, just watching.
Can't engage the Saudis.
Oh,
Ooh, little
Jason
pointed comment.
speaks. So, you want these guys to go into Saudi Arabia, our biggest oil supplier, and all this political stuff, and like,
Do a snatch and grab.
yeah, easy.
Troop chief?
What is your.
I never heard Jason say he wants troop chief.
Yeah. I have never pictured Jason as someone going after for
Right.
promotions.
Yeah.
History.
History.
Oh my God. And Mandy wants to know what the gossip is.
Jason made team leader first.
Ooh.
Hasn't been easy for Beau. Just a little.
Lisa, I love you.
Playing at him. I mean, we get the play-by-play of this whole trip.
I feel like they could have sped this storyline up a little bit in the episode, and we could have had like something else to fill the time, like back home with like Brian or something.
Something.
I don't know. Maybe Clay would have to go clean out a locker or something like that.
Yeah, instead of searching for the family.
So it's really interesting. Clay is talking about what he knows about Brian.
Lucy Denise. That was a nice picture of Brian there.
But I have some serious big questions by the end of this episode about the Navy and Brian.
Don't we all? Back to the training exercise.
Wait, this
full scale model.
Oh my God. Is this what our taxpayer money pays for?
Well, they got to practice if they're going to have an op that'll define you for generations.
It's acceptable. I'm kidding. Kidding, guys. Kidding.
Well, it's kind of like those cars when they're smashing out the windows.
That is true.
Uh-oh, Jason doesn't look happy. In front of the generals?
Bravo 1 does not have control. Someone's got control issues.
And Mandy's just standing there looking.
Okay, but the way David Boreanaz is delivering it is just... I'm telling you, by the end of this series, I really can't picture anyone playing Jason Hayes.
No, he doesn't give an inch. It's so awesome.
8 minutes. That's easy peasy.
But they only have 14 before the Saudi response team comes in. Should they use explosives if there's kids in the building?
I think it's really interesting the different point of views here between Bravo and Charlie team.
Yeah. Hey, the general's got a solution.
Oh my God.
I did laugh when I saw this the first time. The candy. And Jason's just
The whole
laughing.
everyone is looking at each. I'm sorry, candy
Just
is
give
your
the operator some
solution?
candy. Hey, we're gonna explode this door. Here's
So,
some candy.
okay, so this cake eater is suggesting that. Did he not? He wasn't, well, maybe he didn't see that much combat because I mean, in the last 20-25 years, there's been way more combat than like maybe before that. But
Well, I'm all for giving kids candy, but when you're blowing down a door to kidnap their father, maybe not. Let's do this.
oh my God, look at the way Jason's smirking.
2 alpha males.
I'm going to have so much fun getting stills for this one.
I know, right? Just the toe to toe.
So now we're back on the looking for Brian's
Mother.
mother.
So it's a restaurant called Lucy's.
So has Brian been lying this whole time?
So waitress is named Denise. Well, I mean, the one positive about this storyline is Clay does look very nice in a suit. We're looking for silver linings.
I mean, we don't get to see the guys dressed up in like suits very often. The
True.
closest maybe we get is, their dress blues. But normally, if you're in your dress blues, it's not a good thing. But we'll see.
And we can't even talk about Jason's wardrobe because he's in fatigues the whole time.
Fatigues and flannel and t-shirts.
No, I mean this episode he's only in
That's true.
fatigues.
I mean, that was pretty nice to look at too.
But for wardrobe, all I've got is Clay and Mandy.
Right. So Brian's mother is not alive, it sounds like.
Yes. Go sit where Brian used to sit and drink his milk. So she died when Brian was 9, it sounded like.
Mm-hmm. That is not what Brian was implying. Brian was hiding things.
Said his mom went to all his football games, but she didn't. Oh, there's a picture of him. I'm gonna time the mission.
The guy playing the back guy.
Are they eating an apple?
He's eating something.
Refreshments
I'll
on.
show you what I got. The way Jason just smacks Sunny in the back of the head there.
You better hurry.
I love how they have the guys here and then you show like everybody else in like the briefing room watching the whole thing go down. Or they're in another place.
Right. An observation room or something.
Fire in the hole.
Nice explosion.
Mr. Sonny Dynamite Quinn.
They're watching the arguing, the cake eaters.
I love how Blackburn and Mandy too have this communication. Oh boy, things are getting heated, you guys. Oh, you did not go there, dude.
He went there. Get in there, Eric.
So Beau seems
Oh,
very by the book, but he calls Jason an improviser and thinks that gets people killed.
yep.
Oh, those words of like, I'm not going to go kill a widow are just ringing in Jason's head right now. But
Sure, with the whole Nate thing. Pushing Jason's buttons.
oh no.
Oh, being confronted.
Oh my God, this little old lady. She doesn't even have a gun. She was lying.
Lots of lying going on in this episode.
It's a big theme.
Is that tie black? Kind of looks black. Maybe for a
So
funeral.
Brian put this address down on an application for the Navy.
His dad went to prison.
The, the plot thickens on Brian's whole family storyline here. I think we've
Mom's
gotten
dead.
more.
Dad's in prison.
I think we've gotten more storyline about Brian's family than we do of like every other cast member for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Let's hear more about Mandy's family.
All right, we start. The timer's going. Piece of cake? Who said it's a piece of cake?
The green lighting is very actionable.
Yeah, season 1 they did such a good job with like lighting and like just different film
Yes.
settings.
The moving camera.
I feel like we're 6 episodes in and it doesn't feel like this is a brand new show, you know? Like it
Yeah.
feels very like
Seamless.
seamless. And I think by about episode 4 was when they found out like they'd been picked up for more episodes in season 1, so
And why wouldn't it be?
which probably means like this is already filmed by the time they found out. I'm not sure. It all depends on the timing and how long everything took.
They're in the pretend bunker.
Again, the music is on point.
I wonder if they just, when they're pretending to be the bad guys, if they practice that too. Dying, the death scenes.
I mean, I think it's interesting how intense the music is, even though we know it's like a training op. Well,
Not working, Charlie team.
Jesus, how many door replacements did they need to do?
I know, right? Most don't look like flimsy doors.
Well, I would think the door has to be relatively close to what they're going to go through so that they can, like, like they had the issue with the blast. So the blowtorch idea, that was Jason's idea, right?
Right. It's not going quickly. Didn't even start the blowtorch on the door. Not happy.
Jason is not happy.
Let's run it again and again and again.
Kind of curious, like, what they might have changed. Or if they're just trying to hustle it a little bit more and keep figuring out the kinks of this whole plan. I think you can see too, like Jason is thinking about it. He's watching it and his mind is turning like, okay, like what do we do next? Right. Uh-oh.
That can't be good.
I want to be the fire extinguisher guy. Oh, excuse me, I have to come in here.
Op is too risky. Can't.
It's probably for the better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. His plan stunk.
Ego, Jason, I'm sorry. You have an ego too.
Giving his opinions.
Jason,
Uh-oh. You don't
this is
know. Ooh. Don't go there. This is great acting.
great guest star acting.
Oh, and somebody gets
Oh my god,
killed.
you're telling him he's killing people again too?
They're holding him back. Jason's gonna get
I
him.
don't know how they held him back.
We're on the
I
same
think it's
team.
really interesting how Jason, though, in his mind, he's thinking of innocent civilians. And though the other guy is very by the book, that does not mean you don't kill innocent civilian. By the book does not mean it's going to be clean.
Yeah, like Jason said, he doesn't know they'll be there and they don't know
This
they
is a
won't.
good racing scene.
Jason's still got adrenaline running.
So Jason was a 3IC when they were selecting Ray?
Ray, yeah. So does that mean Ray was the number 6?
I think so.
He drives him crazy. Do I care?
I don't think Jason does care. Well, I think he does and doesn't care.
He was just trying to get the mission done, working the problem.
I think Ray brings an interesting perspective, but I don't think that it gives you the right to be like a hole about it.
Yeah. I mean, Bud sounds really, really horrific.
Whew. Yeah, I would never survive buds.
No.
I like that Ray knows why Jason
Yes.
chose him.
Is there two different approaches to seals? Is race a factor?
See, that's the thing that's sticking with him.
Yep.
Ray is hitting it on the head here.
Time to talk to someone.
Therapy, yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Maybe not a shrink necessarily.
I think so. We're talking about therapy and Jason, but through the whole series, this whole therapy and Jason thing is a very interesting and evolving.
Because he's anti-shrink right now.
He's talking about how we've lost brothers before and we never talk about it.
Interesting how that parallels to Clay.
Do you want to come for lunch? Naima cooked.
Yeah. Are you good?
Again, great camera work.
And a great scene between those two.
Oh, we're at the bulkhead.
Meeting an old friend.
The AC's broken. Ooh, shot of tequila. I love tequila. I'm kind of curious, like, was this meeting on the books? It seems like this meeting must have been on the books for a while.
Yeah, he wanted to be there for Nate's funeral, but he was in J-Bad.
Oh, he has a question about the passport.
In Nate's burned box. Was the interpreter's wife. Thought the
I think the beer is
Taliban's
cold.
gonna come for her.
Jason just down. I mean, I don't flinch with tequila much either, but that was really. What did you guys really? I always wonder when they have to like drink things like that. What do they really put in there?
I was actually looking at the Henley the other guy's wearing. It's like, let's get Jason in some of those.
We do eventually see him in a Henley.
I mean, he likes the t-shirt with the overshirt or whatever. And he doesn't look bad in those.
Next show, you can be David Boreanaz. You can help David Boreanaz's wardrobe guy with some suggestions. The Jason Hayes gears are turning. They're turning, you guys.
Looking at that guy sweating at the bar. Especially
and now Jason's just randomly saying things.
Thanks, Pete. Mandy's got him back in the briefing room.
He went and got his girl Mandy.
And she's dressed all in black like the spook she is.
Ooh.
The AC ducks.
I did like her attire, as she was a spook, and later on we see her a little more casual.
Yeah. And the ducks are gonna be the key.
I feel like we could have made this explanation a lot shorter.
Would you rather have this explanation or Clay looking for the family? Gonna be tight.
Yeah, totally. These guys all look like they could fit 3x3.
Will their shoulders fit?
It's not Bravo team, it's Broad Shoulders team. Broad Shoulders 1, 2, 3.
But now Jason's presenting his plan, and Beau's like, maybe. But it is possible. Let's give it a shot.
I think at the end of the day, they both do deep down respect each other.
Yeah. And maybe Jason's thinking about what Ray said. Because Ray is trying to get him to look at the perspective of what's Beau thinking about you, and Jason's like, do I care? But I think he does deep down, like you're saying.
So it looks like we're at like a halfway house of some sort, or like
maybe
for kids.
Foster center.
Clay and Adam are learning more about Brian, who must have grown up here.
Yeah, since they only adopted the younger kids, I said. Sad. Show in the library. My favorite part of any building. Looking for the dad still. Adam goes to the office. Clay's looking at the library. Hey, his dad's an author. Maybe he likes libraries.
Maybe. Something's caught his eye.
Because they said the older kids leave their books behind for the younger kids, so.
And what did Clay find?
Ash Spencer's book.
Wow, of all books to find there.
Very interesting. Back in the car. Ooh, what about the dad?
I do feel for Clay some. I mean, you just lost your friend, and now you're kind of finding out like this whole thing that like everything your friend who you thought, trusted, like a lot of the stuff he told you was made up.
Well, and I think Brian must have been ashamed of his background. That's the only reason to hide it, that he didn't have a family. He was a foster kid. Dad in prison, mom dead.
I mean, I think too, on some degree, like Brian didn't want to disclose it because then, like, people do, like, maybe they
Pity
do like
him.
pity you or something, like, oh, he's that kid.
Yeah, but I kind of wonder why he didn't confide in Clay, since Clay obviously has issues with his own parents. But like you say, maybe it was just a pity thing or shame.
I think it's interesting now. Adam's talking to Clay about his dad.
Yeah. Maybe that was a family Brian really wanted and he liked the fantasy of it. So at least Clay got to live with his grandparents who were more stable.
I think that's one thing people forget is the toll it takes on families to do this job.
True. At least his grandparents loved him.
We never really hear from or talk much more, I think, later on about Clay's mom, if I recall.
True, just that she was a mess then.
Adam talking about what will become his real family.
The Brotherhood. Final shot.
No pressure, you guys.
None at all. That was nice of him to do.
I like this conversation. Again, it comes down to the brotherhood and respect.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I like you, but appreciate that too.
Doesn't like him, but.
See, Jason can play nice.
Yeah. They asked for role players. How do you get that job?
I know, like, I need to start looking at job postings in the Navy here and be like, I'm a civilian. Do you need me to like stand somewhere?
Model makers, role
We'll
players.
be doing some podcast research.
Yeah. Here we go, moving to breach.
Even though this is like still practicing, it feels so real.
Some very nice shots there. What? Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
They fit in the 3x3.
Like I said, they have great camera angles in this show.
Yes, with a nice green tinge to it in this shot.
I love that little Serby gets to go down for some fun too.
What a good dog. Oh, the role players down.
So with this new plan of going through the ducks, it means that the timer that they originally were starting doesn't quite start yet, which gives them more time.
True. Got the hostage.
Jackpot.
Jinx.
You owe me a soda. And
Now the
now we
timer
start the
starts.
timer.
Mandy looks a little nervous there.
I'm kind of curious why she was nervous when we see the outcome of all this.
Yeah, trust in Jason Hayes. The music is awesome. Great explosion.
I mean, it seems like things are going according to the new plan.
Smoothly.
I mean, it is very interesting, all the aspects you need to think about. I mean, like when Jason's saying, like, you don't know, like, behind the door. I mean, both sides are saying you don't know what's going to be behind the door. There could be innocents, there could be bad guys. But either way, I mean, the slightest chance there is innocent life there, it will
Yes.
make the news, right? You know, and
Want to
cause a
preserve
whole
it.
nother war.
And they made it out.
Mission
Yay, everyone's
success!
happy.
Woo!
12 minutes.
Jason always wants to run it again.
He loves running it again. Back to the restaurant. Wants the waitress to sit down. Denise.
I kind of forgot that they haven't really told anyone anything about Brian yet.
True. Why do they always go to restaurants that like to put pictures on the wall? I've never been to a restaurant that has like personal pictures on a wall.
Well, I don't. I know I've been to places where, like, if famous or noteworthy people come, they post pictures. But I don't know if I've
Yeah.
ever been somewhere where they just post pictures of people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The famous ones I can understand. These look pretty personal.
Just like I think at the Bulkhead, like, they post all the fallen.
Yeah, fallen.
So we have Clay
Given the
telling
death
them-
notification.
Oh, that's rough. So, little foreshadowing here, Adam being here for the death notification.
And Clay.
Yeah, and Clay.
Very much foreshadowing. She
I
looks
mean-
so sad. He had no family. But he did have family. He had the brotherhood.
Exactly. Oh, we're
Getting
getting
on
ready
the
to go.
plane.
Yeah, here we go.
Flannel, you were right. It is flannel.
Oh, we finally got a flannel. Oh man, Cake Eater's talking to Blackburn. But he's got camel pants on.
Ops canceled.
Do we ever know why?
Dang it. According to Mandy, got spooked.
Or he was never there in the first place?
Thanks for training for nothing.
So, like, were they ever really gonna go? Or
Hey, well, if we catch them again, they don't have to sit around. They can just go.
Or did they end up sending some other team out there after these guys did?
Yep. Caw-caw, caw-caw, caw-caw. What is that? Cake bird.
Caw-caw, caw-caw.
The cake bird.
Sonny.
Breakfast buffet. At least they're all going to go out to eat together. Bonding. Brotherhood. What do we have
Jason, where
here?
are you at?
He's finally going to confront the woman,
Okay, so we showed up at the woman's doorstep.
which he should have done a long time ago.
Julie, we wouldn't have a story by now.
He's just hiding cars on her street. Brings him in
Jason
for tea.
with tea.
in a tiny little cup. Telling him how to put the sugar in and suck it through the sugar.
I have never drank tea that way.
Me neither.
Like, what do
I
you
think I
do
would
after you take
still.
a? I know. Well, I'm just thinking in my mind, going like, do you keep the piece there the entire time? Like, what if you need to talk?
Or what if it's too sweet?
So he knows the culture.
Hmm.
So
Awkward.
does she recognize him?
I thought she said she knew Nate when he was at the door. Knew he was there about Nate.
Do you want to talk about Nate?
Yeah, he hasn't so far to anybody else.
I mean, technically, this is not therapy. So,
Listening ear. Why didn't Nate confide to anybody what he was doing getting her out of Afghanistan? Because her husband helped them. All these little lies and secrets.
I wonder if he never said anything, maybe because what he was doing was probably not above board. And so he didn't want to probably get like his brothers or anyone else more involved. Because then,
Sure,
like, if you get caught, then it's going to be like this whole ripple effect of things. And I mean,
sure, protecting
I'm
his
kind of
brothers.
curious to know why Nate, of all people, did it. Was there something he felt guilty about? And he's like, I got to save this woman. Or like maybe he felt guilt for the husband disappearing and dying,
Maybe
in the
he was
war.
closer to the interpreter than anybody else on the team. I mean, it's hard to
Right.
say.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, I think it's good that Jason finally showed up, although we really don't know what was said or what the conversation was. And I think this is kind of the end of the Nate storyline as far as what was the burner phone. Because this is episode 6, I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't think we really revisit the cell phone and
No.
everything like that much
No.
more after this. So it's kind of some closure and
We finally talked about Nate. We got to
mhm,
hear everybody's secrets. And we got to
mhm.
talk about the brotherhood and what constitutes family.
Right, yeah, it was a very big episode about what the brotherhood is, what family means, and like you said there was a theme of like,
Yeah. And
kind of secrets.
Lisa's comment too that even though they are brothers, who fights more than brothers? So the Beau Jason story of the fighting
Mhm.
brothers are, made up at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, like at the end, they both came to their senses. I think, of course, in the moment when things, I mean, they're trying to run through an op. It's not working.
Tense.
You've got ideas going against each other, and of course, like
Yeah.
things, like it's not even just brothers, but people in general. Things just blow up, and you
Yeah.
say things you probably didn't mean, and then
And the
you settle
generals were
down.
there.
Right. Yeah. When the big cake heaters were there, so that's always good. But yeah, I mean, at least though, like you said, I mean, Jason has good people, I think, around him. Whether it's Sunny, Mandy,
Right.
Ray, sometimes even Blackburn. I think
Yeah.
who like all take the time to like talk to him and get him to settle down because sometimes that's just what
Yeah.
you got to do. And I
And
mean,
see another perspective.
yeah, see another perspective, get him thinking about it, and
Yeah. And Jason's a reasonable person. He's not
oh
gonna
yeah,
fly
yeah,
off the handle generally.
right, yeah, he's not one to fly off a handle, but I think it's just one of those things, again, he's got his, I mean, even if you look at Beau, you think about it, they both have got those control like issues. I mean, it probably is hard to put multiple teams
Mm-hmm.
together and then somehow like
Yeah.
how do you figure out like your team is your team and they
Yeah.
know how you work, and it's not that everybody doesn't know how each other works even, but it's just like those are your guys, and you don't
Who's
trust someone else
and who's
who's
the
there.
secondary team? And
Right.
everyone's got these egos involved. And
Right. I
yeah.
mean, you do not get to the tier 1 level that these guys were at without having an ego and knowing that you are the best of the best out there, rightfully so. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah,
And
that
wanting to
was
show your best.
right, exactly. So, but that was episode 6. Hope
We
you guys
made it
enjoyed.
through.
I know we made it through. I hope we made it a little more exciting than some of the parts were, but like I think like every series, there's always going to be episodes where you're just kind of like, it's not my favorite episode, or I didn't like this and that, which is fine. I mean,
They're
this
definitely
show.
light on the action, more towards the home front.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I think 6 episodes in. So, like I was saying, I think in a prior episode, we deploy out to places.
Yeah.
Where, you know, pretty soon we're probably going to show what a real deployment out long term is too. And it's just
Hmm.
like all these different ways. Like this entire episode was at home on base, just training,
Yeah.
but it still felt so intense, and so real. Um,
Sure.
Even though we don't see them, apparently the op gets canked. So I'm kind of curious to know how many times things like that happen. You go through all that work just to be told, like, oh, yeah, no, we're not. I
Never
mean,
mind.
I don't know if like it's something behind the scenes and maybe like they were using these guys as a test run and then you send someone else out to do it. But I mean, those people would have to train too, I assume.
I
So,
don't think they did that because they talked about that he wasn't there, maybe never was there, but next time they located him, they could just go. So I think
right.
they would use that same team.
Or
I
maybe
did
they
like the. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say like maybe too he wasn't there at all this whole time, but like they're gonna figure out. I'm sure there's ways you can like do things to like get people to maybe run away to their hideouts too, and then be like, okay, when we get proof he is here, like
Hmm.
pounce on him.
It was nice. We got a little Serby.
Oh yeah, a little bit of Serby. We love when we get to see the dog.
Yeah.
She does such an well. Serby is played by Dita, and does such an excellent job at, I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard enough for people to act and to be able to get like an animal to also act and do what they I mean, I guess in theory, she was a working dog at the time. So, it's just an issue of giving commands, but
Hey, don't forget the goats. They were
I know
also in this episode.
I hope they got a special credit somewhere for that.
The goat herder.
Yes, yeah. We do have more goats later on in the series and
Yes.
like little animals and stuff. But yeah, I mean, next time you and I are just we're gonna have to figure out this whole casting thing. Find the casting calls to some show somewhere and be like, we just want to be the goat. You need a goat herder? We can do that.
Model maker, we're there.
I know. I know.
Wardrobe
I
helper.
don't know if I mean, I always thought the models were cool, but until you brought it up, I've really been paying attention to them. I'm like, that is really cool. How do you get that job?
Is
Like,
that a CIA job? It's like, hey, we have a model that we need done in 2 days or
right. Well,
2 hours.
like I was telling you, I was like, so, we're watching them use the model, which means you had to have said something about needing a model prior to all this. So it's like, again, I always find it fascinating the moving pieces to
Yeah.
like it all. And
Maybe
I
they just need one on call too, because if they have an emergency, you need a model made in an hour.
I'm sure they have like mountains and all that kind of stuff ready to go. Like, okay, here you go, here, this
Yeah.
should be good to go, and like use. So, although, how did they do like the ship model, like in the other episode
Yeah.
with when they go rescue the
That was
hostages
pretty
on the ship?
detailed.
I mean, that was like to the T. The ship
Yeah.
does, or maybe they just have like models ready to go somewhere. No, I don't. Yeah, it's
All these things that we don't know the answer to.
someone give us the answer. Anyways, but yeah, that was episode 6. We hope you enjoyed it. I know we had a lot of fun doing it. We have fun every time doing
Yes,
this.
we
It's so
do.
fun. It really is like it is so fun to like now go back and just watch like
The
the
foreshadowing, the character
foreshadowing. I mean,
arcs.
there's so many little nuances I think about now as I like pick up. I'm like, oh, this is,
Hmm.
like, and I mean, you're a writer as well. And I always like, we've brought up like, how far in advance do you think like they think
Yeah.
of a storyline or they table something and somehow come back to it and be like, you know what, let's table this. And maybe later on we bring it back. So
Yeah.
I don't know how
Very
you
interesting.
writers do it.
Very carefully.
Yes.
Because I cannot even tell you. So in my very first book that was published, I had an editor obviously go through it, and she said, okay, in the first half of the book, your main character's eyes are brown, and the last half they're blue. So, you catch these little details, these things that you don't think about when you're a new writer, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that there's things as editors.
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit of fan fiction, which I have been severely lacking on. But like there's been, I haven't written in a while now, and it's like now when I go back, I do go and like depending on what I'm about to write, I'm like, well, what did I say the last, few
Yeah. Go
few
back and
chapters?
look.
I better make sure I'm a little consistent here on what's going on.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, props
I'm
to you
glad the
guys.
SEAL team writers were consistent overall. The
Yeah.
timeline was a little funky, but they were consistent.
The timeline is magical, but
Yes. But the characters were pretty consistent, so good
no,
job.
yeah, I think the characters were pretty consistent. I mean, especially, of course, there's moments you're going to be like, again, you're not going to love every little thing that goes on. I know
Right,
definitely
right.
when it comes to season 4, you and I are going to have some
Yes,
interesting things to say.
yes, we are.
But we still got through it. We hung in there, and,
Yeah, we did.
by
And we got the
some
payoff.
yeah, by some, luck too, we did end up because I remember season 4 was where it was really, really up in the air. Like, are we getting more seasons? And now I'm like, okay, like, please just give us more seasons. Please give us more
Yeah.
seasons. And we did get it. So
And now we can say, please give us a movie. Please give us
I
a
know,
movie.
I know. Maybe I need to go start that campaign up, get Paramount Plus on, and be like, hey, we want a movie. You know, And David Boreanaz is like teased and been like, "Well, will Jason be there? Will he be alive? We don't know if he died after that last shot." I'm like, he didn't die. He's gonna be there. Spoiler alert.
Has to be there.
Yeah, I don't know. I am curious. Well, I mean, David Boreanaz recently did post to his story. Like he was posting a thing in the show. You'll realize is they like to use not only do they have veterans on the show, but they do use veteran like companies and like whether it's I think supplying things on the show, but a lot of those American like flag hats sometimes you see them wearing is by a company called Eagles and Angels, and they have an Instagram page and they have a whole store, and they actually you can donate your uniform to them and they will go make some of those flag patches out of uniforms from actual military members. And so they always have different, like Tyler Gray has done it, and a few others. And so he was recently, David Boreanaz was recently posting a picture of some new hats he had gotten from them. And he put in there like something about like new hats and new projects. And I was like, projects? I'm ready. I've actually been waiting to see like in the entire cast what they're kind of been up to. They've all been pretty quiet for, I think Neil just was a guest star on The Equalizer, but I don't watch that show, so
I don't
I don't
know.
really know much about it. But I think AJ has done some small little films. Maybe I don't know if those are out. I know he and Tyler are doing a podcast called Two Fake Seals, which may be premiering soon. I'm not 100% sure either, but for the most part, people have been pretty quiet. So I'm curious to see where everyone is going to go and what kind of genre or something new that they do. I like when actors can do different things and not just get like stereotyped into one role. And it's a little jarring sometimes, I mean, seeing someone play a different role, but then it becomes fun in my opinion. So
Yep, agreed.
but yeah,
That was a good episode.
very good episode. Again, we hope you guys watch this episode and all our other episodes. Please catch up. Please tell everyone you can. Until next time,
We'll see you
see
later.
you later. Bye.
Bye.